Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. My name's Anna Pirelli. The comments that you see here are my views, beliefs, opinions, and sometimes they are not even my fully formed views, beliefs, and opinions. However, they are my understandings. Please do retain an open mind and reflect on any of the content and your comfort levels. If your views differ, please feel free to leave a comment. Also remember, it is possible to disagree in respectful ways. My way is not necessarily your way and vice versa. You might also find that some of the content on this playlist in regard to spiritual or universal laws, it resonates with you, meaning it feels right to you, while other laws may not feel right or they may not feel comfortable. If this is the case, the information is either not right for you or it is not right for you right now, and it might never be right for you at any given time. It really doesn't matter. As an earthy and practical person, I can put my hand up with all honesty and say that I have at different times had the same feelings about some of the content in here, and with some of them I still have a level of skepticism within my viewpoints, but I choose to retain an open mind about the things that I don't fully understand for a few reasons. Firstly, because I believe it would be supreme arrogance to think that we all know all of the answers while we have a body. And because what is right for one of us is not necessarily right or suitable for all of us, and I choose to respect the differences. Please do leave your opinions, beliefs. Feel free to argue the points in a respectful way with any of the content on the slides and even my interpretations. And if you feel that you can add clarity around some of the content, we would all love to see it. Thank you. For now, though, let's explore the laws.
All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. Contained within these laws, or conditions, is the true nature of matter. Knowledge of these laws has an effect upon the mental urges. Mind is the builder. Stay in full mindfulness of the application of universal law as related to self and to others, and know that in love all life is given, in love all things move. In giving one attains, in giving one acquires. In giving, love becomes the fulfillment of desire, guided and directed in the ways that bring the more perfect knowledge of self as related to the universal, all-powerful, all-guiding, all divine influence in life. Love is life. When we go back, merge with the God source, in some infinitesimal but profound way, we expand the mind of God. Our higher self always points the best and most perfect way, and it is ours to listen and choose or reject what we hear. It does not blame, but patiently tries again to show the perfect way, the loving way. All of creation pushes forth. We are ever becoming. Identity ever remains. The universal law number 4, the law of analogy. The law of analogy is a definite condition of third-dimensional existence. Precise and exact analogies are not possible, and they can only ever be understood within a broad and basic correlation. This is because when viewing creation, there are some immovable and unchangeable points. But when using analogy as a tool of viewing, there are no two details that are exactly the same. Using analogy to try to explain and describe the inexplicable is purely an attempt to convey understanding in a broad sense.
So just in case you missed the descriptions on the other slides of what third dimensional existence is, or on the other videos, my understanding is that it is what we are doing right now today, walking on the earth plane. We're all living in the third dimensional form. Right. However, even in the exercise of trying to explain and define third dimensional existence, we're actually providing evidence of the truth and relevance of this law, which I find to be quite interesting. We're trying to describe something that is largely indescribable, and therefore it's impossible to be precise and exact. Now, just to add further evidence to this, right, because I also struggle at different times to articulate and express verbally what it is that I feel or what I see in my mind's eye or whatever, I did a bit of a Google to see if I could find a better explanation for what the third dimensional is and what third dimensional living is. Now, I'm happy to share the name of a website. It's called Fractal Enlightenment. Now, I'm happy to also say that it does offer descriptions and explanations for third, fourth, and fifth dimensional living. Now, I understand and relate to parts of their description, but most of it doesn't resonate with me and the truth of who I am and what I feel. So I can say that the point of analogy is that for each of us, we have a truth of what is the truth for us, what is the meaning of any situation or description, because at the end of the day, we're talking about words. When we talk about third dimensional, fourth dimensional, fifth dimension, we are using words and language to articulate an experience, and words and language have different meanings to different people anyway. That's the first thing. And then the point is that the way we experience or feel those words, there are variations. There might be some themes that are basically what I like to call categoric truths. I see the similarities, these movable and unchangeable points that are referred to here in the law of analogy. They are the categoric truths, and then the truth for each of us becomes a little bit variable, and these are the differences. So an example of a categoric truth is that those of us living on the earth plane, we were born into a body. Okay, you and me, we've got a physical body, we're called humans, and that's a categoric truth. And eventually our physical body, we will lose it. We will, if some people call it death, we will die, and our spirit, this is where it varies between person to person, because not all people believe in life after death. So that becomes a variable as well. The truth for each person is different. What happens to us after, or our soul or spirit after we pass, is also a personal truth. So I'll try and give you an example of how the truth can vary in regard to analogy. I'll keep it simple. Okay, so for those people that believe in spirit and soul and creation theory, I guess, we will all agree that the spirit, each body, each person walking has a soul and they have an inner spark, okay? But we might argue individually, and we will see this with right to lifers and religious faiths and institutions, if you like, that there is debate around when a person is a person, right? So that is, some people say the moment that an embryo is created, or from the moment of conception, that is a life and a spirit is attached to it. And then other people that I've met who are spiritual turn around and say, oh, no, it's not at the moment of conception. It's actually when the person's about 5 months pregnant, then the spirit, because this is all part of the divine plan stuff, then the spirit is allocated to the unborn child. There you go, language escapes me again. And then yet other people turn around and say, no, it's not like that at all. It's when the baby's actually being born, that's when the spirit comes over to the body and enters it, or whatever the divine spark. So anyway, for me, because I'm a bit of an inquirer, I decided that I wanted to find my own truth around who was right and who was wrong. Okay, we're going back many years with this. And where I was at the time was I was actually attempting to establish my communication, and I didn't have terribly good clear audio at the time, but I was able to get yes/no answers quite easily. Now, what I established, and I believe this is the truth of the analogy that has come up in this law, is that what is true for one person is not true for another person, that there are variations, that actually every one of these theories is right within a context. This is actually what I got come through for me, for my guides. But I would say that if you have the capacity to connect with your guides and communicate with them, you could ask them these kind of questions yourself and get your own answers, and that becomes the personal truth. So I guess within there, when we talk about analogy, yeah, it's very dependent on language, it's very dependent on skills. It's very dependent on people's interpretation of words. Another example I could use would be to say, I love the colour blue. It's my favourite colour. Actually, it's one of my favourite colours. And people automatically think, well, she likes sapphires, then she'll love sapphires. I can actually say, yes, I do. But when I talk about blue, I'm not thinking in my mind of sapphire blue. I actually really love the turquoise blue as a colour. So this is where analogy is very difficult, because it's purely an attempt to convey information or knowledge. And I would add to it that we only know something when we feel it. So when you're talking about what do I know, what is a truth, what isn't a truth, one of the things I was taught way back when is that you know the truth when it's in your gut, right? And I'm talking about the solar plexus, the yellow chakra. When you have that gut instinct, that becomes truth. So I don't know if I've answered this, but hey, I've done my best. Open to feedback. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.